What's up, fellow Walking Dead collectors? Solid Dave Snake here, continuing my month-long Halloween reviews here on my YouTube channel. And today we're going to take a look at the brand new Fear the Walking Dead Madison Clark color top 7-inch action figure by McFarlane Toys. And just like with my previous reviews for these color tops, I am going to break her down under 5 different categories: accessories, sculpt, paint apps, articulation, and presentation. So let's just get right into this and take a look at her accessories first, which she does come with the same exact base that her other Fear the Walking Dead action figure came with. Travis. These are the only 2 Fear the Walking Dead action figures to be released so far. So, well, I got them out. I'll show them both together. But it is the exact same base. But she comes with 2 new really neat accessories that are fitting to what she used during the first season. If you remember in the episode when she was in the school with Tobias, and they got attacked by that principal zombie that looked like President Obama, she used this fire extinguisher to kill him. And this fire extinguisher accessory is very detailed. It fits in her right hand really tight. It'll fit in her left as well, however a little more loose. And from it being in her right hand, it did squish together this handle. It was a little more separated when I first bought it. This upper part was a little more up. So be wary of that whenever you get this. That will mush those down into each other when you put it in her right hand. Little pressure gauge here. Of course, the black hose going down the side. But what I really like about this is it has instructions on it, just like an actual fire extinguisher. The same kind of logos. And there's actually print in there. However, it is so small, I can't read it. However, it does look like words, like actual words written on there. Of course, you can make out the bigger word up here at the top, instructions. And there's even smaller print on this side. So a really cool accessory. Very fitting for her. And another fitting accessory is the ball peen hammer she used, which fits in her left hand perfect, really tight. She has a nice grip on it. As you can see, I had a hard time taking it out. However, on her cover, it shows, on the cover of the packaging, on the back, it shows it in her right hand. And that right hand, you could force it in there, but it's so tight you would really stretch out her grip on that right hand. So it's definitely meant to go on the left out of the package. And there's some nice detail on this. The head of it is silver, but it's got a little bit of black wash to it. And the handle does look like grainy wood. So they did a good job with it. So these 2 accessories are very fitting for Madison, but overall she doesn't come with a whole lot, and she has to have that base to stand up. She won't stand up without it. So overall, out of the accessories, I'm going to give her a 4 out of 10. And now let's get her up close and take a look at her sculpt and paint apps from head to toe. And it looks a fair amount like Kim Dickens. Of course, with it being upscaled now to 7 inches from 5 inches, they are able to fit a little more detail on these face sculpts. However, this face sculpt is awfully manly. She has a pretty big cheekbone. Now, the actress Kim Dickens does kind of have those strong jawline features to her, and from certain angles it really looks like her, but straight on it's almost too wide down here at the bottom of her face, just a little bit. So it's not a perfect head sculpt, but it's pretty darn good. I actually think it's a little better than the Travis action figure and likeness, just slightly. Now, the hair did turn out great, and it is kind of sculpted to lay a certain way with how you have her head positioned here. Right here, it lays on everything perfect on her jacket. And it is a pretty soft material too, so when we get to the articulation, you can see that her head will fully rotate, even with that hair being like that. Show you the top. So they did a great job with that hair. And from the neck down, they went with kind of what she was wearing during a big part of season 1. And it works, although there's not a lot of excitement to it, I guess. It's pretty standard, just this striped jacket here, almost like a bubble jacket, which they did do a great job in sculpting in that line work and still maintaining all the folds to the jacket here. Even down the arms, have a lot of folds in the jacket. Did a good job with the zipper right here. And she does have this purple undershirt, which I do have a problem with this part of the sculpt. I don't know why they gave such a big fold on this side, but it almost makes her chest area look a little disproportioned with the way they did that. And even down here at the bottom where it meets with the pants, doesn't have a natural look right here. As you can see, it's kind of hanging out. It doesn't look like it's draped over. And they did do a good job with the zippers on this outer jacket. Painting them silver all the way up. So that does look good. And give you a closer look at her hand. Did a pretty good job with that. Right hand has a ring, silver ring on it. And she does have really tight jeans. No belt. You can make out the buckle there. And on the sides of the pockets. So that's some nice attention to detail there. Great job with the wrinkling on the jeans. Good job with the pockets. Even folding the fabric behind the knees. That looks good. And down where the jeans meet into the boot. They gave it a tucked in appearance. And they did a great job with the boots. Little color variation. The top is black. Bottom part is brown where the heel is. Gave it some minor weathering. Not extreme weathering on these first Fear the Walking Dead action figures since it was so early in the apocalypse. So it's fitting. So overall, her sculpt is pretty well done. I'm going to have to give it a 8 out of 10. And the paint apps are near perfect. Now, the one thing I did notice in store, I had a lot of her to choose from. They had about 8 different Madisons. And I did notice that some of the paint apps for the eyes were way off on some of them. I had to hand pick this one to find the best one, which this was the best looking one. And they painted the eyes on pretty straight on mine. But on some of them, they are a little cross-eyed. So for paint apps, I'm going to have to give her a 9 out of 10. Overall, on mine, it is flawless, but on others, I saw they were cross-eyed. And now let's move on to articulation, which that's where we fell every time in these color tops. And it's really a shame with as great as they're making these color tops look, sculpt and paint-wise. It's a shame they didn't go the neck away and give them high articulation. It's almost sad to see McFarlane go back to 20, 25 years ago, what they were doing in the company back then. But her head is on a ball joint, which she will look that far down, only that far up. But you can get a little bit of slight tilt out of it, and surprisingly, full rotation, even though the way her hair is. It's not that restrictive. It's pretty pliable plastic. Now, I don't know why they didn't go ahead and give her ball hinge shoulders this time. Like they did with the Travis action figure. They only gave her cuts. So you can get both shoulders to rotate all the way around, but you can't really get her to hinge up and down like the Travis action figure, how he had those ball hinges here. But she does have the same kind of elbows Travis had, and you can get a really good range of motion out of them. You can get it up to about 90 degrees and back straight, and get that full rotation as well. So that's just like the elbows for the 5-inch action figures, just like they were. Which the sculpt doesn't look too bad there at all either. I know McFarlane Toys says, well, articulation takes away from the sculpt, but not here. And this is the kind of articulation we're asking for. So I think they could have easily gave us shoulders that way as well. And she does have cuts here at the hands, which will get rotation, but not full rotation. Show you on this side. About from there to there is all you're going to get. But surprisingly, here at the waist, she has a cut, and you can get her to rotate all the way around. It gets a little tight, but it is doable. And at the legs, this is pretty much how you're going to want to keep her. You're not going to want to move these cuts because it takes away from the sculpt. But they're there, and they will rotate all the way around on both sides. So pointless articulation right there. And she does have cuts where the jeans meet into the boot. So they're hidden well, but what the heck's the point of having those? And you can't have her stand on her own anyways. She's going to fall right forward. So you have to have her pegged in there. So all in all, the articulation, the Travis and the Madison are better than the first Rick Grimes and Michonne. But all in all, it's still a fail. 3 out of 10 on the articulation. And overall presentation, how she's going to look on your shelf, it's going to look a little better having Travis and Madison together. However, you are limited in the posing. Now, it's nice you can get her in some kind of overhead smashing poses with this hammer. If we had some 7-inch zombies, then it would look a lot better on the shelf. If you had her getting ready to smash a zombie over the head or whack him with this fire extinguisher. But McFarlane Toys says that they do not have any plans on making any zombies for these color tops as of yet. So for presentation, really it's a little lackluster. Overall, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. So she has 14 points of articulation. Travis has the same amount of articulation. So we actually have improved a minor amount in the articulation with these color tops, with these Fear the Walking Dead action figures. I just want to point that out. But for the overall score, accessories 4 out of 10, sculpt 8 out of 10, paint apps 9 out of 10, articulation 3 out of 10, and presentation 4 out of 10 for a total of 28 out of 50, which is actually the highest score that I've given for any of these color tops so far. So I guess this may be the best color top release so far as of yet. So alright guys, let me know what you think. Are you picking up this action figure? I can't honestly give it a high recommendation unless you are a Fear the Walking Dead fan. If you're a fan of the show, then these are probably the only Fear the Walking Dead action figures we're going to get, unless the 5-inch line of regular Walking Dead action figures resurface and they decide to start making them then. So, alright everyone, thanks for watching and stay tuned because I'm going to have the review for the 7-inch Daryl Dixon up next.